gonna play a clip of Roland trying to shame us because we ain't putting on the cape for immigrants. And, you know, Roland has Haitian ancestry, by the way. All right?
This is one of those conversations where everybody says they're defending black people, but somehow black people end up arguing with each other for 45 minutes while everybody else eats popcorn. What we know is this: Roland Martin made comments about criticizing the FBA crowd over immigration rhetoric. What Tariq Nasheed claims is that Roland was using shame tactics to make black Americans cape for immigrant groups. What Flakko is trying to do is separate our regular black Americans who believe in lineage and reparation from Tariq's version of FBA politics.
Roland Martin has a lot of black people pissed off this week. He's receiving a lot of backlash from Tariq Nasheed and others who identify with Tariq Nasheed based on his comments about FBAs on multiple episodes of his shows this week.
In this Leonard memo, they literally were demanding that the French military institute Jim Crow because they felt black soldiers were going to be too uppity because the French were respecting them as human beings.
They asked the French, don't treat them too well. Don't, you know, when our darkies come over there, take it easy on them. Be, you know, crack them with the whip every now and then. Don't let them eat with y'all, for God's sake.
So why do I say all of this? And by the way, you need to go watch the Harlem Hellfighters. By the way, you should go watch the W.B. Du Bois documentary that's on PBS to get an understanding of his thinking when it came to Pan-Africanism. I'm saying all of this because we should stop this nonsense of listening to these idiots who yell, "You a tether, you a tether." Oh, I know them fools. Because I once stated, and I have no problem saying it, that my maternal, paternal ancestors migrated from Haiti. These same dumbasses, these FBA people, "Oh, you a tether, you a tether." No, I was born in Houston. In fact, Riverside Hospital is celebrating the black folks that were born in that hospital on Friday, on Juneteenth. That is happening. My mom and daddy were born in Houston. My grandparents were born in Louisiana. And I'm like, do y'all ignore my maternal line, my paternal and paternal line? So if I got four grandparents and one line migrated from Haiti, the other three don't count. See, that's the stupidity we're getting into.
Now,
we got black folks who sitting there going, "Yeah, I'm FBA, you ain't real."
What I think is unfair is Tariq Nasheed created the term FBA, and that was inspired by Dr. Claude Anderson. But there are black Americans who believe in delineation, who believe their ancestry and their heritage don't begin in Africa. But those black Americans do not classify themselves with the term Tariq Nasheed created. They don't associate themselves with Tariq Nasheed. But Tariq Nasheed would have you believe that if you criticize him and people who support him, then you are going against all black Americans.
And that's what I always say. If y'all notice, we do our little skit, tether time. Because whenever we go against the grain, because further than people criticizing Tariq's enemies as being tethers, the FBA crowd typically also criticizes anybody who does anything they don't like. It's just the current insult for someone who's part of Tariq's so-called FBA movement.
If you criticize him and his xenophobia,
you must be from Jamaica.
Then you're attacking all black Americans, when not all black Americans identify with the term Tariq Nasheed created.
If you don't agree with the attitudes that Tariq has set up, or that whatever random FBA person says, you must be from Haiti.
They know what their heritage and their ancestry is. They believe in delineation, but they do not agree with Tariq Nasheed and xenophobia, and they do not classify themselves with the term he created, right? Black Americans have their heritage, have their ancestry. There were black Americans delineating far before Tariq Nasheed. So I think it's very unfair that when somebody—
Facts, because I do recognize that we are a unique ethnic group. We are quite unique people.
Criticize Tariq Nasheed and his supporters who classify themselves as FBA, they take that as, oh, you're criticizing all black Americans. When no, you're criticizing Tariq Nasheed and his supporters. Tariq Nasheed has done a brilliant job at weaponizing the term he created.
And this is the part that people are going to argue with. But he is making a real distinction. Criticizing Tariq Nasheed is not automatically the same as criticizing all Black Americans. But Tariq supporters are going to say, no, you only criticize Tariq because you don't like FBA people having a voice. That's where the argument gets stuck.
Anybody he doesn't like. Roland Martin was born here. Roland Martin parents were born here. Roland Martin grandparents were born here.
So what?
3/4 of Roland Martin great-grandparents were born here.
3/4 FBA, 1 part tether.
Tariq Nasheed will still call Roland Martin a tether. And you know why? Because he don't like Roland Martin.
Just that
Tariq
simple.
Nasheed is denying Roland Martin's claim to his lineage because he don't like him.
Now, this is the part where Flakko was talking about. Tariq heard Roland Martin connect FBA rhetoric to white nationalist talking points, and Tariq took that personally.
Roland has Haitian ancestry. Do not forget that. Boy, Roland, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Nikki the God for making this clip. I'm gonna play a clip of Roland trying to shame us because we ain't putting on the cape for immigrants. And, you know, Roland has Haitian ancestry, by the way. All right? Roland has Haitian ancestry. Do not forget that. So he tries to get into these shaming tactics where he wants to shame us because we're not putting on the cape. We're not obligated to do anything. We're not obligated to put the cape on for nobody.
And this is true. We're not obligated to do that to anybody.
All right, let's be very clear. We do not have any obligation to put the cape on for anybody. Whenever people get the hammer dropped on them, it becomes, you goddamn FBA, y'all FBA. Everything is on us. Notice that? Every damn time. With the tethers all in these spaces, the ICE vans are circling around their community, and all they do is blame us. Everything is all about us. Latinos, they don't say nothing to them. They don't say nothing to nobody or nothing about nobody. It's all us. Them damn FBA, y'all should have did this. Y'all should have did that. Y'all always talking about how we ain't got no power. We on the bottom. We ain't got no homeland to flee to like you. But when the damn hammer drops, we're the only thing you talk about. Anytime the hammer drops, y'all always got our name in your damn bushmeat eating mouth. Good freaking grief. Roland and people like Roland's big jolly ass, they sound like white supremacy, there's the talking point. Okay, that don't work no more, bro. That doesn't work anymore. We're not shamed by that. You're not going to shame us for caping for all these people who talked all that shit. And I love how everybody's pulling receipts on all the Haitians, by the way, because the Haitians have, for the last few years, they've been talking cash shit, and the family's been saving receipts, boy. When they're asking how come we ain't stepping to them or helping them out, people are, hey, like Exhibit 1, we're dirty Black Americans. We ain't got no culture, casa not. I mean, y'all been showing your ass for years. And then you want to wonder why we ain't doing nothing? You told us that you got it popping, and you work hard, and you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and we can learn something from you. So damn it, start teaching it. Teach us how to do it. Teach us how to Dougie. Teach us how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Because you Dougie in your ass back to your homeland. Give me a break, but let me tell you something. Listen. This shaming tactic nonsense, when the media with white supremacist talking points, that's not a good faith critique. That's a political con game. That's a tactic designed to force loyalty and compliance without them having to deliver any tangible return on investment. So they keep throwing around these extreme labels so they can try to get us to abandon our own political bottom line and us be the muscle for groups that don't offer no reciprocity at all.
Well, what he's saying is not an untruth. My beef is when somebody shows up and just wants to have a conversation, or somebody has a different idea, and everybody who doesn't have the capacity to properly compute his message, immediately strikes out and calls somebody a tether.
Right? So if Roland Martin is a tether, when he was born here, his parents were born here, his grandparents were born here, his 3/4 of his great-grandparents were born here, right?
And I'm not saying I disagree with everything Tariq's saying. I'm just saying why he got to be a bunch of names in the tether and all that. How about he's just a black man with a different opposing opinion? Is there no room for such a thing?
The overwhelming majority of his lineage dates back to civil rights and to slavery, but Roland Martin is a tether, according to Tariq Nasheed, because he doesn't like him. When Black Americans have claimed their lineage, like Black Americans have delineated far before Tariq Nasheed and that term he created. So criticizing Tariq Nasheed and his supporters will be seen as you criticizing all Black Americans by them, because that's the trick that Tariq Nasheed pulled, right? Like, they will say that I'm anti-Black Americans and I'm a quote-unquote tether when I criticize Tariq Nasheed and his supporters. Even though I've been on record saying I support the delineation of Black Americans, I support the fight for reparations, I support it 100%, and I think reparations belongs to Black Americans. Even though, again, I'm a strong advocate for, if other groups of Black people, Haitians, Nigerians, Ghanaians, if they get to be proud of their culture and they get to identify uniquely with their culture, then why shouldn't Black Americans? So
they don't want to hear that. I just so you know, the FBA people have turned off already. They're already mad at 35 things you said and 95 things that I said.
I support delineation, I support reparations, and I support everything that the Black Americans that I know are fighting for, right? I'm an ally. So, but I still get called anti-Black Americans because I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed and his hateful rhetoric. But all of a sudden...
And that's a real debate. Not everybody is obligated to march for everybody, but the question is, can you make that point without turning every Black immigrant into your enemy?
I'll become anti-Black American when I say I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed saying that babies born in Africa are born musty. I don't agree with Tariq Nasheed reiterating white supremacy talking points by claiming there's nothing positive about certain cultures in Africa, like Liberian culture and Somalian culture and Nigerian culture. Really, bro, there's nothing positive about a culture to an entire group of people? Really, bro?
When he says that, he is being facetious, first of all, and secondly, being dishonest, because we all know that the Hidden Color movies was all about Africa and African people and and our various contributions from around the world, not just here in the U.S.
Really? Like, there's nothing positive at all? You're right? Like these people have never contributed nothing positive to the world, really? Right? So when he reiterates these talking points, when he calls groups of people racial slurs, right? When he spews xenophobic, hateful talking points like the ones I just reiterated, and it's like, damn, bro, I'm all of a sudden anti-Black American because I don't support him and people who support him?
Yes.
Roland Martin is now a tether, even though his ancestry dates back here, because he don't support Tariq Nasheed and people who support Tariq Nasheed. You feel me? It's because Tariq Nasheed has done a pretty great job at conditioning people to think that if you go against Tariq Nasheed, you're going against an entire group of Black Americans. Well, no, that's not the fact. Like, Black Americans identify with their lineage. They identify with delineation. They identify with their heritage, and they don't believe they're African Americans. They believe they're Black Americans, and they were born here before Tariq Nasheed and after Tariq Nasheed. And the overwhelming majority of Black Americans believe in their heritage and their lineage and don't agree with Tariq Nasheed. So attacking Tariq Nasheed and his xenophobia and people who think like Tariq Nasheed is not an attack on Black Americans or Black American culture. It is an attack on Tariq Nasheed. And
you're a tether, Flakko. Shut up. It must be you.
People who think like Tariq Nasheed. We'll continue this conversation on another episode of his show this week. Now, I don't agree with everything Roland Martin had to say this time around, because I don't agree that it's the duty of Black Americans to stick up for immigrants that are being deported after their TPS.
Yes. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't think that is our responsibility.
Status, got terminated. I don't think it's their obligation. I don't think it's their duty. I think they're perfectly in their right to say, hey, bruh, y'all on your own, man. You feel me? That ain't our business. I think they have a right to say that, and I don't think they should be shamed for saying that.
Y'all might have saw that thing flash right there. That's quite interesting, because it's October of this year, 2025. 4,499 refugees have been allowed into the United States. 4,496 of those folks have been white South Africans. That is a fact. What we are seeing here, Matt, is pure, unadulterated racism. And what we have to deal with here, Michael and Nicole, is that when these ADOS FBA people, when they spout language, the anti-immigration language, even anti-black immigration language, they sound just like Tom Emmer. They sound just like Stephen Miller. They sound just like Donald Trump. They literally, Michael, are speaking for white nationalists.
Absolutely, is white supremacy through ventriloquism.
If this was in reference to the people who are in support of ICE, who are in support of the deportation of these immigrants, who are in support of Stephen Miller, racist immigration policies, understood. But if this was referencing just anybody who says, hey, bruh, it's not my business, quite frankly, I don't care what happens to him. I got my own thing going on over here, right? I'm Black American. I'm not Haitian. I don't care about Haitian or other immigrants. If that's referencing to them, then I think you're wrong, because they have a right to support what they want to support.
Yeah, I feel that way too. Like, if they don't F with us, we don't gotta F with them. I'm not against them though. I'm not trying to, stomp nobody out. I'm not trying to, but I don't think they should be here if they're not supposed to be here. That's just my personal feelings.
And they have a right to ignore what they want to ignore. And if they say, hey man, we got our stuff going on over here, that ain't our business, leave us alone, then they have every right to do that. And, and it's not right to, to shame them into, trying to support this, or shame them into trying to march with these folks or support these folks, right? It's not their business. If they don't want to support, they don't have to support. However, standing by while somebody get jumped is a lot different than joining in on the jumping. So if you stand by and say, hey, man, it's not my business. I don't know you from a can of paint, bruh. I'm not hopping in when them folks jump you, bruh. Handle your own candle. Handle on your own. Leave me alone. That's one thing. They can't really blame you, right? If they made their own issues and they're getting jumped, they can't blame a total stranger for not stepping in to defend them. However, if that total stranger hops in and begins to attack them too, aka they begin to speak out in support of the deportation, they begin to speak out in support of Stephen Miller's racist immigration policies, they begin to join in with the white supremacists to go against the immigrants. Now, like, you're foul. Like, that's one thing, and you're...
I don't think so. Not a support as in speaking, or support as in trying to catch them. It ain't like the FBA crowd is chasing down, immigrants and stuff. Now that would be a little off, but I think we can express how we feel, no doubt about it. If we feel that immigrants aren't on our side and it's just fine for them to go ahead, then yeah.
File for that. But if it's not your business and you don't care, then nobody can shame you for that, right? You have your right to ignore what you want to ignore. But ignoring and then hopping in and supporting it is one thing, right? And I think he's referring to a specific group of people, a very specific niche of people on social media, on Twitter, who identify with Tariq Nasheed, right? Again, a very small group, not all Black Americans, a very small group of people who identify with Tariq Nasheed. They're saying deport them all. They're saying F them immigrants. They're jumping in with the white supremacists to attack these immigrants. And that's where I think the problem lies. Because you could sit by and say, hey, man, that ain't our business. Leave us alone, bro. Y'all handle your own, right? Y'all come here and y'all undermine us, and y'all are disrespectful to us, and y'all say things like, oh, we work harder. Y'all don't work hard at all.
Right. Therefore, we'd rather not have you. I know that we are stronger together than we are divided. If Black people could stop fighting one another, the things we could achieve would be astounding. But we always find a way to separate ourselves. Not only does it happen here, it happens around the world. If you look in Africa, we talk about all black people coming together. Black people don't like each other in Africa. Black people don't like each other here. Black people don't like each other from opposite parts of town with different gangs. That's just my perspective, how I see it.
Because they deserve it, right? It was promised to them, and that's their right.
Man, ooh, we're failing as a people.
I don't know, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did Roland Martin have a point about this dangerous rhetoric, or did he make it worse by comparing FBA language with white supremacist talking points? Is Tariq Nasheed defending black American interests, or is he turning a serious lineage conversation into a loyalty test? Because both things can be true. Roland can be too dismissive. Tariq can become too extreme. Flakko can be trying to play referee and still get booed by both teams. That's how messy this conversation is. With my final verdict, I say, Roland Martin stepped into the wrong fight because he underestimated how personal this conversation is for black Americans. The story is not finished, but the explanation did not calm anything down. If anything, it proved the real problem. Black people are trying to have a serious conversation about lineage, immigration, reparations, and respect, but the internet keeps turning it into a fight over who is black enough to speak.